Hello to all you guys out there in YouTube land. Yes, it's me, DR. This is another vloggy video. Actually, I thought I'd do this on a rather sensitive topic. Probably not going to make any friends with this video. I don't know if I am or not, but I'm going to look at this in the only way I can, which is the way I see the world. So recently within the UK and the Republic of Ireland, there's been lots of talk about the rape case that involved 4 members or previous members, ex-members of the Irish rugby team. They've been going through a 9-week court case where they've all been had the allegation of rape held against them, and the trial has ended and they've been acquitted, and it was a unanimous decision from the jury. And this has caused a lot of controversy. So I don't want to make this video about the trial itself. If people are interested in that, I'm more than happy to do something about that. For me, it's more about the response to the trial. And this is where I'm probably going to sound condescending if I'm not careful. So I apologize in advance. That's not my intention. I just want to take a reasoned and measured approach at looking at this. Because what I've seen at the moment has been lots of protests about the result of the trial. There's been a lot of, I don't want to say controversy, but there's been backlash. So, you know, you've got reports from the Republic of Ireland police force saying that this has impacted the accusation of rape in no way. Actually, there's been more people coming forward from their data to say, to report rapes, but there's also been reports from feminist groups to say that there's actually been a decrease, and anecdotal feedback around this, that women are saying they don't want to come out and say they were raped because of the result of this court case. There's also been the release of the I think it's on, and I probably am going to be incorrect, but some social media messaging system. There's been release of chat records that have come from this as part of the court case, as well as some controversy around releasing of information around the court case. As I said, I'm not going to make this about the court case, but those are the things that kind of surrounding us, that are clouding this issue. But something that, and maybe this is, I'm from a very privileged position being male and having never gone through this type of situation as directly as this. Now, I've had friends who have gone through this situation. I've also had friends who have also, for whatever reason, made allegations that were then deemed to be false. So I've seen this kind of from both aspects. So I'm trying to be as objective as possible as a human can be. My worry with all of this is that we're forgetting the basic principle of the action of a court case. Apologies, my dog has decided he wants to go a bit crazy at the moment. But so if the camera moves, that's him bumping the table. But we're kind of, as I said, we're getting back on track. We're kind of forgetting the major point of, which is innocent until proven guilty. And I think this presupposition is really important within the rule of law. And I get that if we're not careful as a subset, we can turn around and unconsciously criminalize the accuser. But, and the fact that she went through, I think it was something like 9 days of questioning in this Irish court case, that has made the whole process disheartening, or I don't want to say not as attractive, but it hinders people from going through because they feel like they're going to be put on show. I get that, but the response to this has been, it's been worrying. There's almost been, and I could be incorrect in this, but it almost feels as if the court of one side's public opinion has taken the word of an accuser as gospel. And I get it. I used to think this way until I'd come across a situation where an accusation was made and it wasn't true. And people can kind of theorize about, no one would ever do this, but until they've gone through that situation, and I truly don't understand the reasons why someone would want to do something so heinous to another individual, and to accuse someone who's innocent of doing something so heinous to another individual. I don't get either side. I don't get from the point that the accuser is true and the situation happened. I don't understand that thought process. And maybe in some ways I'm glad I don't. I get it happens, so I'm not naive, but I just don't understand that thought process. But I also don't understand the other side of it, where someone would accuse someone who hasn't committed a crime. And that's sort of, for me, the court has looked at the evidence and the jury's looked at the evidence and unanimously decided that person was innocent. Now, I know there's been miscarriages of justice in certain situations. I know people, and we know those kind of situations have happened. But at the same point, I'm just... fed up is a wrong word. I get worried that opinions are made before, without even seeing the evidence. And, we weren't there. And as the fact we weren't there, we can't take either side as gospel. So we have to rely on what we're able to present. Now, I'm probably, as I said, I'm not going to make friends on any side of this situation, because if the accusation is true, it's heinous, and I believe people should be taken to task for this. They should be made to pay for their crimes. But vice versa, if it's not true, we shouldn't hang this over people's heads, because there's situations where it has happened and that seems to be ignored. It has happened that people have been accused and they've been found innocent, and it is hanging over their heads, and that's not fair either. So this is a real difficult subject for me to talk about, because as I said, I've seen both sides of it. And I know nothing about what's happened in this situation apart from what's been presented, apart from the fact it's been, the facts that we know is it's been the evidence that is available, and both sides presented the best case they possibly could. I'm believing that, because if they didn't, there's a worry for me about how they presented the case. The evidence was seen by the jury. The jury made a call, and that's what I'm going for at the moment. So I just worried that one, it has identified there's fundamental flaws in terms of how we treat the accuser in a situation. But also, there's a fundamental flaw in terms of the reasonable treatment of an accuser's allegation. Because until it's proven guilty, it is just an allegation. And like any allegation, you don't criminalize the accuser, but at the same point, the accusation hasn't been found to be true. And I think that's a real important point I'd make in any situation. Even if someone was talking about race crimes, someone said this person commits a race crime, I don't necessarily jump on the bandwagon. Actually, majority of times I don't jump on the bandwagon until there's some evidence to back things up, because I understand various things happen for various reasons. People make accusations for various reasons, and I've seen those happen where both an offence is committed and when one hasn't been committed. And I understand the reasons for both sides of that, but equally I also don't understand why they happen. I understand that people, on better phrase, I understand that other people have reasons for making those. I just personally don't understand them. They don't resonate with me. So this video probably isn't going to get me any fans, but I think it's just, I've been really worried about this response that people have kind of gone, and I get some of the reasons for people being really negative and having a negative reaction to the result of the trial. I mean, I mentioned the WhatsApp group text and the social media text that around the situation, and some of the language that was used was incredibly dehumanizing about the woman in question. I think the phrase that has been used in the media is that she was almost passed around these rugby players like a piece of meat, and there's evidence to back that up. I think we just need to be careful. To be careful on how we frame this, and framing things in kind of black and white, like it doesn't do anyone any good. And I think this case has opened up some questions that we need to look at. I'm wondering what you guys think. So this is DR. There's no wrong or right answer to this. That's kind of my thoughts around this. I just wanted to capture on film. Saying peace out, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Like, share and subscribe. Please write your comments in the description bar down there, and have a safe journey wherever you're heading.